so I'm the assistant district attorney. So Miss King's, I'm Miss King's like kind of first assistant, if that makes sense.
Right.
Everybody works for DA King, but I'm the first assistant.
So are you the superior to Deputy District Attorney Christopher Brousseau?
I am.
Okay. So did you get a copy, or did DA Alexis King get a copy of the recent emails that were exchanged this morning?
I personally did not. DA King's in a meeting, so I can't check with her at the moment.
Okay.
But I personally did not. And then I also tried, we have like our cases are kept, as you can imagine, in a case management system electronically. And I don't know if I spelled the first name wrong, but when I tried to look up your name, I couldn't find the case, so I might have been spelling something wrong.
No, actually, that sounds like just about right. That's part of the problem I've been experiencing. And perhaps now would be a good time. I really appreciate your thoughtful consideration. I'll try and be quick and give you a synopsis. Would that be all right then?
Sure.
So basically, there's an underlying custody case that has been going on for 3 years, and basically a number of crimes have taken place. It's not just a civil matter. Everyone's trying to dismiss it just as a civil matter, okay? But basically, after, I don't know, about two and a half years of every form of remedy being denied, all different kinds of shocking and egregious manifest injustice perpetrated by officers of the court, not only the attorney, by my ex-wife, but also the judge on the case, who refused to recuse and who did all kinds of things. I have 5 or 6 pending appeals at the appellate court, but basically, so after all a bunch of crazy developments happened back last year, we were supposed to have a full day hearing. I was fraudulently restricted from seeing my children, based on just completely nonsense and actually just really nothing. I mean, I have been a father for 30 years. I was a single dad after our divorce for a full 6 years. Never a complaint. My kids went to school here in Gilpin County. I'm a model parent. I was a volunteer at the school. Anyway, so after all these things were happening, it's a very, very lengthy case to understand and to basically, to review. But basically, I'll just try and highlight a couple things here. So I had to let go my attorney after about a year and a half or so, after having to spend almost $200,000, and now it's up to $250,000 with appeals after that. But I was fraudulently restricted. I then basically I've spent thousands of hours learning the law, learning the civil procedure. I have followed every rule diligently, in good faith, and I'm always full disclosure and full and honest disclosure. And basically, I submitted one of the highlights I just want to point out. I submitted a Rule 60B motion to vacate the presiding judge's orders, who was on the case, for fraud upon the court and deprivations of rights. I had outlined in a very detailed motion, 15-page motion, and had proven, based on civil procedure, that as undisputed fact, that there was numerous frauds upon the court by the attorney involved, by the judge involved, by other agents, court agents and officers involved in the case. And the reason why I say that is because, according to Rule 12F and Rule 8F or 8B, I can't remember, essentially if an attorney doesn't deny your averments, then it basically becomes on the record as undisputed fact. And he did not deny a single allegation, a single detail of my very detailed 15-page motion with all my averments. And so I then filed a motion, filed a reply and a demand for relief, a 60B relief, because according to case law, relief in such a case is not discretionary; it's mandatory. It's according to the Shalala case, and other citations. I have gotten very, very deep into the law and not only the civil procedure and the state laws, but the federal laws and the criminal statutes and the criminal things. So anyway, I was denied my relief with just a shocking order by Judge Vriesman. The initial judge was Judge David Taylor, but Judge Vriesman came out of nowhere and denied. Anyway, then I tried to go up to Chief Judge Pilkington, and everyone is basically covering up, misdirecting, and not addressing the truth of the matters. And the fact is, basically, at that point, or I tried to involve Chief Justice Boatwright. There's a lot of details here, but I sent him 8 certified mailings in the month of March. It was sent off without a response until the last moment to the Commission of Judicial Discipline, even though I was asking for sua sponte action and not judicial discipline or an evaluation. A day later, after I'm notified that all my mailings were sent to that were proving crimes and asking for Chief Justice Boatwright's intervention, they were sent to Christopher Gregory. A day later, I received a denial of an RFE that I never even requested. Okay. Anyway, from there, I submitted a criminal complaint. I submitted a 123-page letter to all the state agencies requesting sua sponte action to intervene and assist my suffering family and my children and I, who have been separated and denied contact unlawfully for over a year for several of them, and now almost 2 years for my one daughter, who this all began with because I took away her phone for calling me a bad name. I mean, this whole thing is so outrageous and so egregious. But my criminal complaint, so let's get to there. So in my 123-page letter to the Office of the Colorado Governor, the Attorney General, the U.S. Attorney, and so forth, and the local county sheriff, and so forth, I sent this letter with a disk drive with hundreds and hundreds of evidentiary material and evidentiary documents that I cited at nauseum in my 50-page criminal complaint, both state and federal criminal complaints, where I provide statements of probable cause and all the details that are needed to establish the fact that these are serious crimes. They have occurred. There's probable cause to confirm and justify and warrant action in this matter. I asked for special grand juries and so forth because of the matter. But let me just get to what's happening now as far as the district attorney's office. So the Gilpin County Sheriff's Office, basically, the commissioners tried to dismiss my complaint as a civil matter, and upon my urging and discussion with the county sheriff, he referred it to one of his investigators, Jeff Collins. Jeff Collins then basically treated me very poorly, as has said that my allegations or my criminal complaints are quote-unquote nonsensical to him. He submitted it to D.A. BROUSSEAU, Deputy District Attorney DDA BROUSSEAU, and said that they were going to review it, evaluate it, and see what could be done. I've requested victim services. I've requested a case number. These are serious crimes. This is very detailed information and very authoritative evidence and documentation, all organized and all presented according to law enforcement standards, okay? Anyway, so after 2 or 3 months of waiting to hear from Deputy District Attorney BROUSSEAU, I've left several messages. He never got back to me. I left messages with DDA Max Cohen. I spoke to him one time, but he said he couldn't help me. Then I spoke also with Stacy Galbraith, the criminal investigator, or the investigator on staff. And initially, people are helpful and they try to help me and so forth. But as far as the Deputy District Attorney, finally, upon some additional voicemail messages and contact I tried to make this past week, late week, I finally got a response from the Deputy District Attorney, BROUSSEAU. And he says, oh, well, you stated that you didn't want me to investigate this matter, which is a falsity. And he says, I'll forward you the email from several months ago where you stated that. Basically, what he was referring to was the fact that I pointed out to the Investigator Collins that I believe there was a conflict of interest and that a special state prosecutor needed to be appointed to handle the matter, given the extent of the involvement of the First Judicial District in this matter. I know that you represent all districts, correct?
No, just Jefferson and Gilpin County First Judicial District.
Oh, so you are, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so you are. Well, it's hard to ask a district to investigate their own people or their own state actors, court officers that have been proven corrupt.
Usually people make if that's the case, I hear what you're saying. Especially for the appearance, it's not alone. But usually those investigations then are taken to the Attorney General's office.
Okay, but I've not gotten anywhere with the Attorney General office either. In fact, they a few weeks back or a number of weeks back, they had a technician, Spencer Shiplet, who no longer works with the agency, send me a letter that was completely unsubstantive and basically said, we don't provide legal advice. I mean, they basically ignored my complaint wholly, and I've not gotten anywhere with them. But as far as Christopher BROUSSEAU is concerned, I think this is very important. I think you should know this because it's very, very, very shocking and very egregious, and I just can't even comprehend. I mean, I'm just still reeling from the whole his old recent commentary. So basically, I'm very detailed. I'm a dedicated father. I love my children, and I'm trying to get some help. There's nowhere to go. These are serious crimes, and nobody wants to acknowledge the misconduct, the child abuse, the domestic violence, all these conspiracy, all the deprivation of rights, fraud upon the court. All these things are being wholly ignored. Yet it's so clear and so authoritative. I mean, what has happened here is just I never in a million years could have imagined such corruption. But Deputy District Attorney BROUSSEAU, on Friday, he stated to me that, I thought you didn't want me to investigate. I have not reviewed your complaint and I have not reviewed your documents. Okay? Then here we are Tuesday morning, less than 2 business days later, obviously not happy with my inquiries, all of a sudden says, that no crimes have been committed and he basically is dismissing it. Will not provide me with any... And he says he reviewed my complaint and reviewed my documents. So in less than 2 days' time, he's reviewed 900 documents with thousands of pages of evidence and a 123-page letter and criminal complaint with such detailed, fine information that is so clear and convincing. Yet he states that I should go and make appeals if I feel. I've already made appeals. It just shows that he hasn't even read my complaint or never read any of the evidence material. I submitted a flash drive to all the officials noticed on my criminal complaints, 6 officials, a flash drive with all those hundreds and hundreds of documents and evidence, all cited in my 50 pages of criminal complaints with statements of probable cause and crimes. All noticed, all provided, all researched with thousands of hours just so I can try and restore my family and get some help. But nobody is helping me. Nobody is helping my family. I've asserted and invoked the fact that we are crime victims, and I've been ignored. I've been belittled. I've been treated undignified. My children are suffering by child abuse. There has been all kinds of terribly egregious, harmful, injurious things that continue to happen here in this case. And the officers in this matter just keep pushing forward like everything's fine. I have submitted numerous notices. I've pointed out numerous frauds upon the court, deprivations of rights, and cover-up crimes and first-degree official misconduct by numerous court officers. And now I'm going to be including Christopher BROUSSEAU as a suspect named in my criminal complaints. And if I don't get any action from the actual state officials who are supposed to actually help and prevent corruption and prevent crime, then I'm likely going to have to file some sort of a civil RICO action. It's not a threat, but this is a massive, massive, massive cover-up. Nobody wants to admit or acknowledge or help that these are crimes. I've researched the law, and I thank you for listening to me. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to sound disrespectful in any way whatsoever.
sometimes parties disagree, right? But there's no disrespect from that. So I obviously haven't read it. I don't know. I can certainly react to any sort of complaints you have about Mr. BROUSSEAU. But that being said, we do have a standard that we have to prove. Even if a crime did happen, we can only file criminal charges when we have a reasonable expectation of success, a guilty verdict. And so, there is some grayness to that. So I understand that can be frustrating.
Um, you know.
I think I would also encourage you to take whatever action, suit, like lawsuit, whatever you think is.
I don't want to take a lawsuit. I have no money. I've been persecuted to the point of almost near bankruptcy. My house that I purchased a number of years back with 5 bedrooms for my children who all lived here happily and comfortably, and it's been empty. And I don't want to pursue a lawsuit. I would like justice. I would like, I am a crime victim. I have noticed crimes. I should not have to be running around trying to get services from every state office in this state, every public office, it's so unbelievable. Okay, I and my 8 children are all crime victims. These are serious crimes. I've been treated undignified. I believe this is actually even a hate crime because of my Jewish religious faith and the fact that I'm a rabbi, and some of the comments that Judge Taylor made and other things. I mean, Christopher BROUSSEAU, after numerous correspondence, he won't even address me as rabbi, even though he knows that that's my official title. He continues to say Mr. Bellinsky, Mr. Bellinsky. I mean, I'm not gonna, whatever. I'm just pointing that out. Like, this is really just undignified. These are crimes. I'm a citizen. They need to be investigated. If there is a conflict of interest, which I believe there is, then it should be transferred over to supplemental federal jurisdiction for investigation, or to a not disinterested district where it's out of this jurisdiction or out of the influence of the First Judicial Colorado. Of those in the district. And I don't mean to suggest everyone is corrupt, but there are appearances, and there are certain kinds of protocols that need to be followed. And obviously, now that the way that Christopher BROUSSEAU responded, it's obvious he didn't even review my material. I mean, he didn't even review the evidence. I mean, it's not his job to be a judge and jury to determine probable cause. I provided probably 50 different individual statements of probable cause for numerous state crimes and numerous federal crimes, serious crimes. And all we need, according to the law, is one confirmation of one probable statement of probable cause of a crime to warrant arrests and indictments, prosecutions or investigations, etc. And so to just outright dismiss it. Look, judges and private actors and all acting under color of law, I mean, this is a very serious, egregious case, and you can't dismiss this matter as, it's just a civil matter. You have to pursue it under judicial remedies. I have sought every single possible judicial remedy, but I have only seen more and more escalation of crimes, deprivation of rights, frauds upon the court, false statements in orders, misdirection, semantic deceit. I mean, denial of my rights to even get a transcript reviewed by another outside party. I mean, I have so much evidence. Judge Pilkington, Judge Vriesman, Magistrate Timms, Judge Taylor. Okay, I mean, this is not just some state court loser who's upset and frustrated. Okay. With all due respect, I need some help, and I would like this transferred. I would like this transferred to a different venue, to a different district, or I would like the district attorney to acknowledge that it needs to be turned over to the AG, and the AG should do something about it. But at this point,
we can't force the AG, though. I think. Well, first, there's two things I have to correct. It is Mr. BROUSSEAU's job to decide whether there's enough evidence beyond probable cause. He needs to have more than probable cause. He needs to be able to prove criminal charges
Okay.
beyond a reasonable doubt. And so that is actually his job that he takes an oath to. And then the second thing I could tell you is we can't force the Attorney General to take a case.
No, but you were the one that mentioned the Attorney General. That's why I mentioned it. I mean, look,
yeah.
I'm not trying to make.
I just thought maybe you could reach. I didn't know you had already reached out to them. I was just seeing if you had, because they're an avenue. If you feel like that actually do have, the Attorney General does have statewide jurisdiction.
Okay. Would you be willing to just take even a glance at my my letter and complaint? May I email it to you, and may the district attorney, Alexis King, at least be made aware of it, or if may she at least possibly review it as well?
Yeah, I'd be happy to review.
What's your email?
What's that?
What's your email then?
Okay, I'm going to spell it out because my last name is not spelled the ordinary way. So it's JRHOADS@jeffco.us.
Okay, so JRHOADS@jeffco. .us,
yeah.
Oh, .us?
Yeah.
Jeffco.us, no gov in there?
No gov in the Jeffco address.
Okay, so
but you're right, there's a lot of agencies that do have that gov.
Okay. I guess I think I have the wrong email for District Attorney Alexis King, but may I copy her on this as well?
Oh, well, I could get that to her, or you could just submit it on our website. So we have a website, it's firstca.com. You're certainly welcome to look that up, and there's a way to send information through there as well.
Okay. So when I first sent this out to the various officials involved and the various law enforcement, so I sent a flash drive, with, I don't know, like 2 gigabytes of all the data, hundreds and hundreds of evidentiary documents supporting my claims, and very authoritative, all cited to the criminal complaint. Anyway, I actually now put it on a cloud drive, so I'll give you the link to that just in case, so you have access to it. But that is
our government computers sometimes don't allow us to access different links in cloud.
So how would you?
Is it the same information you gave to Mr. BROUSSEAU?
Yes, it is. Well, no, I didn't give it to him. I'm assuming. I actually suspect that Jeff Collins did not send it to him.
Okay.
But he claims he reviewed my documents, but I don't believe that to be the case, because he would have had to receive a special mailing from Jeff Collins. Yet and I call it the Master Exhibit Archive, and it has hundreds and hundreds of evidentiary documents that are the evidence that prove the statements of probable cause that are all listed very clearly and very authoritatively on my criminal complaint. So it just belies reason to think that he could evaluate this in a day and a half after dragging his feet and suggesting I told him not to investigate for 3 months. I mean, it's pretty shocking. I mean, I don't think you would want to be treated like that, or anyone would. So let me email it to you. But if you find out if he has the disk drive, I'm sure he claims he reviewed my documents, so that's all the evidence. I mean, look, I'm not trying to suggest that it's not his job to evaluate that, but based on what I understand, as far as these types of things are concerned, given his conflict of interest, given the connection and the interest to the county and to the First Judicial District, it is appropriate and required for a special grand jury to evaluate and determine or confirm probable cause of my evidence. Okay, that's what I understand. So we're not allowed to be, as a public officials. I mean, it might be part of his job, but to be a judge jury on a matter like this of this egregious nature, I have noticed numerous federal crimes and numerous state crimes, and you'll see you'll get a taste of it. You'll see it from my but there are hundreds of evidentiary materials that prove my claims, and it's very serious crimes that have taken place, and this is not a civil matter. This is very, very egregious, and I think it would behoove the county, and would help restore some confidence in the public, to actually take up a case like this and arrest those who violate the law. I mean, that is what needs to happen. So I'm not trying to lecture you, or to come across as disrespectful in any way, shape, or form. I'm just engaging in a robust conversation to explain the matter. I hope you agree.
And I appreciate that, and your time and information.
So where can we go from here? Because basically, I'm also kind of running up against some roadblocks on the federal level a little bit too. With the suggestion that there might be some other, that basically there has to be a U.S. attorney, or has to be an attorney who will refer this, for summons and warrant for the matter to a judge. And
yeah, I hear what you're saying, because there's a lot of similarities in our system. Like, you can't just, it has to be accepted by the office.
Well,
before you go anywhere.
Well, I mean, please take a look. Look, I mean, I'm telling you, everybody who knows me, all the evidence, there is no justification. This is such a manifestly unjust situation that they have persecuted my family, destroyed our family, separated us, denied us contact, and have basically, defamed me with false allegations, restricted my time, restricted me from seeing my children, and I've never been accused of a single crime. I've never been deficient or neglectful of my children. I'm a model father, model parent for 30 years, 6 years as a single father here in Gilpin County. My kids going to school in Gilpin County, driving back and forth to the school 3, 4, 5 times a day, activities, extracurriculars, and all, the actions that have been taken by court officers are so disturbing and so unbelievable. Yet it's done. It's just, I don't know how people. It's really, I don't know how to describe it. I'll just leave it at that. And I wish somebody would be serious about the law, about the actual law, because I followed the law. I cited the law, case law, statutes, civil procedure, and everything I have ever done, it's just all been backwards. You have unbelievable what they have done to promote a false outcome, an unlawful outcome, so that basically they can profit off of Title 4D funds. They now want me to try and pay child support. These restrictions were supposed to be temporary. I've had to use our entire life savings that were supposed to go for my kids' college. Okay, and it's just unbelievable what the actions have been taken in this case. I would try to appeal to your sense of empathy and justice and decency to advocate to District Attorney Alexis King to assign this to another district, or to have a discussion with the AG, and actually do something about these crimes. It's serious. I mean, very, very egregious. I think you'll see how, I really encourage you to review that fraud upon the court, or the Rule 60B, which is one of the attachments on the 120-page letter that was cited. But the things that they did, these orders are so full of semantics, deceit, false statements, and just, there's just no accountability. There's just no accountability in the court, in the courts. They're all advancing it's all by fraud. I'm sorry, but that's the truth. At least in my case, that's what I've seen. After 30 hearings, it's just unbelievable how they would never allow resolution, and to help the children, and to help. This case is just unbelievable. I would really appeal to your sense of decency if you just take a brief peek at it and try and talk with District Attorney Alexis King. I'll leave it at that.
Well, I really appreciate that, Rabbi, and I appreciate your time. And certainly it's obviously that you've spent the matter is very important, and you put a lot of effort into it.
These are children. You know, we're supposed to, in matters of children, these things are supposed to be expedited. They're supposed to be dealt with. Orders are supposed to be made. Okay, but unfortunately, 3 years of just unbelievable corruption, fraud, deprivations of rights, not following the law. I mean, just unbelievable actions. As the attorney and the judge were basically. I mean, you should read the letter from Carolyn McLeod from the National Parents Organization. She submitted an affidavit. I mean, it's unbelievable what just read what she wrote. I mean, it's in all of her career, something to the effect, in all of her experience, personal and professional, in her years of public policy and in the court system, she has never seen such a sickening and biased public display, something like that, between a judge and a lawyer. I mean, what they have done in my case and to my family is sick. It really is. And it's not just, I don't know, I just want you to understand, these are children. They need, this matter needs to be addressed. Every day that goes by is inflicting harm and suffering. I have probable cause and evidence for child abuse. It is unbelievable. My ex-wife was formerly arrested for domestic violence. She's attacked me in the past on 2 separate occasions. Yet no one seems to want to acknowledge that, or they just, when it comes to a man, perhaps, or the fact that I'm a little more conservative, or it's just unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. I've had 3 experts involved in my case. Every single thing I've ever advanced has been denied. Every single testimony that has been advanced has been ignored or denied by the judges in the case. They've already made up their mind. They don't care what the truth and the facts are, and the children are suffering. To suggest that they do what's in the child's best interest, no, that's just lip service. I'm sorry to say, it's very, very disturbing and hard to have to be a victim of this. And my children and I are victims, are crime victims, and nobody redresses our our suffering. Nobody has provided me with any contact, any ombudsman, any kind of substantive response or help. I've requested on dozens of occasions and emails and follow-up for crime victim services to help my family, and my children just continue to suffer every single day. And I'll take the slings and arrows and all, my suffering, but the children are suffering. They have a right just as much as I do to have contact. I was the primary caregiver for 6 years until they fraudulently and abusively advanced these crimes and these frauds upon the court and the deprivations of rights, all on evidence, all proven. And if I have to go all the way to file a lawsuit, unfortunately, based on what I've seen, there's also a lot of corruption in the federal system too. And I'll just state that because, and I don't have the funds to pursue that. Justice, needs to be done in this case, and for the children. I mean, that's the bottom line. I can move on. I don't need to sue anyone. I want my children back in my life like they were, and I want amends made for the crimes that have been perpetrated on my family. I mean, anyway, I'm sorry. I'm just all right. So I'll send you the. I didn't mean to go on a whole long tangent, but the whole concept. I just have to be very clear that. I appreciate you saying you appreciate me in those statements. I'm just trying to express the magnitude and the gravity of the matter. Okay, that's all.
Oh yeah, no, totally get that. It's huge.
All right, so I'll email you the criminal complaint. I'll actually forward you the last string of conversations, and along with I'll attach the 123 page document PDF. And perhaps you could confirm whether or not Christopher BROUSSEAU actually received the evidence and review the evidence, because that's all on the disk drive. I mean, there were some attachments. There were some attachments with that 123-page document, but there were hundreds of evidentiary documents on the Master Exhibit Archive jump drive that I submitted physically with the letter. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
All right. No, I'm not trying to boss you around. I just want to make sure you understood.
I don't take it that way at all.
Okay. Oh no, I just want to make that clear. All right, thank you. So I'll send you the PDF and I'll on the forwarded last string of emails. Okay.
Okay, that sounds good.
And so can I just I always like to know, like, next steps, or like, can I expect, will you at least respond, or can I expect to hear from you, have another conversation, or let me know what District Attorney
Sure.
Alexis King has to say?
I'm hoping, I don't know what the breadth of which you're going to give me the information, but I'm hoping to be able to get back to you by Monday.
By Monday. Okay. And just
So welcome to reach back out to me if you have any questions in the meantime. But
well,
again, that's what I would hope. That's what I'm going for.
okay. And just so you know, I as a crime victim, I know my rights, and these are crimes. I have authoritatively proven them, or at least provided statements of probable cause that just need to be confirmed. This is a matter that needs to be advanced, and unfortunately, the state court actors and the attorney continue to advance ultra vires actions in court. Yet everyone knows I have proven these crimes. I have proven the frauds upon the court, the deprivations of rights, and yet they keep, and all orders are void ab initio, based on case law and precedent and everything that has been established. I've also withdrawn consent and numerous notices and so forth. But Monday, so my point is, Monday, they're attempting to have an unlawful hearing on child support. Yet there was never a child support order. These restrictions were supposed to be temporary, and I have not been allowed my day in court. I've not been allowed to cross-examine adverse witnesses, like the corrupt family therapist who has been involved in other cases, criminal RICO cases that have been dismissed, but he has just unbelievable. What he has done. Anyway. So on Monday, they plan to try to attempt to advance a hearing. So I just want you to know that as a crime victim, there needs to be a cessation to any further actions in this case. At a minimum, I would ask I would ask you to kindly, if possible, advocate to Deputy Attorney General Alexis King to advise or consult or confer or whatever, or recommend, if whatever the appropriate jurisdiction is, that the court basically take notice and basically I guess you might call it, or compare it to a injunction or some kind, or at least a cessation of any future actions in this case until the appeals come back, or until the criminal complaints are adjudicated. Because they're going to now try and further persecute me, which has been a plan, and which has been in the works over these last 3 years, and that has been the whole purpose. Anyway, it's all in the criminal complaint. There's also been crimes related to fraudulently and illegally funneling maintenance payments. I've been paying maintenance for 7 years, while my ex-wife has been engaged to a man living in the same house for those 7 years, and nobody wants to review my motions in the past to try and adjust that. Anyway, but briefly, so all I'm saying is they're trying to advance a fraudulent hearing, and they're likely going to do it without me present, and they're likely going to try and enter some sort of back child support or whatever. I, as a victim, need to have this case until the criminal complaints are fully adjudicated and the I'm sorry, and the appeals come back, perhaps from the appellate court. They need to put any further hearings on pause because I have withdrawn consent. I have withdrawn from the case. It is fraud what they're doing, and to move forward would be further crimes against my family. So that was what I was initially referenced in my message to you, given the urgency of the fact that on Monday is the hearing. Now, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be long-winded. The Monday was what the point was I was trying to make. So if you're going to get back to me on Monday, thank you. Hopefully the court will do the right thing and actually suspend the hearing, because I was never even noticed of it until I just discovered it recently. They never even provided me notice of it. So these are criminal. These are crimes and frauds upon the court and by the court if they continue. Anyway, I just want you to be aware of that, and I'll be happy to hear from you on Monday. I'll email you what I discussed, and thank you so much for your time. I'm sorry this became such a long, drawn-out conversation, but thank you for your time and consideration as well.
I appreciate you talking to me, and I look forward to speaking to you next week, Rabbi.
All right. Thank you so much,
Okay.
Assistant DA and Miss Rhodes, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
You take care.
You too. Bye.